Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's dive right in. I'm about to tell you something that might be a little hard to hear. Chances are you've been learning things the wrong way your entire life.
Yeah, I know, that's a bold claim, but check this out. This quote from the book Make It Stick just lays it all out there. It says that a lot of what we think we know about learning, the stuff that feels right, it's just not backed up by science. It's based on intuition, and our intuition, it turns out, is often dead wrong.
So, in other words, what feels productive isn't always effective. It's a crazy thought, right? That our own brains are kind of tricking us into wasting our time. So, let's get into why that happens.
And that brings us to the first big problem, what scientists call the illusion of knowing. This is that super tricky feeling where you're really confident you know something, but in reality, you're not even close.
You know the feeling, right? You're looking at your notes and you're like, oh yeah, I remember this part. That's familiarity. But that is worlds away from actually mastering the material. And that gap, that's where all the bad study habits live. It's where we feel super confident, but our actual skills are, well, not so great.
So here's the deal. On the left, you see what most of us do, because it feels easy. Rereading our notes, highlighting everything in sight, pulling an all-nighter before a test. Our brains love this stuff because it's low effort. It gives us that warm, fuzzy feeling of familiarity. But on the right, that's the stuff that actually works. Forcing yourself to remember things, spacing out your practice, testing yourself. It feels harder. And you know why it feels harder? Because it's supposed to. That struggle is literally your brain building stronger connections. It's the good kind of difficult.
Okay, so if everything we've been doing is wrong, what's the right way? Well, the good news is that cognitive science has given us a couple of, secret weapons for learning. All right, tool number one is something called the testing effect. Don't let the name fool you. It's not just about exams. Think of it this way. Every time you try to pull a memory out of your brain, you're strengthening it. It's like walking the same path in a forest over and over. The more you do it, the clearer the path gets. So using flashcards or just trying to explain a concept to someone else without looking at your notes, that's not just checking what you know. It's actively building what you know.
Secret weapon number 2 is a really cool technique called chunking. This is basically like creating a mental zip file. Instead of having a bunch of little separate files floating around in your head, you compress them all into one single easy-to-grab chunk. It's way more efficient for your brain to handle.
So how do you make one of these chunks? It's a simple 3-step recipe. Step 1, you gotta focus. Like really focus. No phone, no distractions. Step 2, you need to understand the basic idea. Not just memorize it, but get the why behind it. And step 3, you practice. You play with the idea, see how it connects to other things you know. That's how you build a solid, useful chunk.
Now, this stuff isn't just theory from a textbook. When you combine these powerful learning techniques with access to information, well, that's when things get really exciting. That's when lives can actually change. Let me show you what I mean. Think about something like MIT OpenCourseWare. It's literally unlocking a world-class education for free for anyone with an internet connection. It puts all this knowledge out there so people can take these learning secrets we're talking about and actually, use them.
So let's talk about Emmanuel Kasagazi.
Emmanuel is from Uganda, and he knew something just wasn't clicking in his education. Then he found MIT's free computer science lectures online. And for him, it was a game changer. He said it made him fall in love with coding because suddenly it all just made sense. It wasn't just random facts anymore. The ideas connected, and for the first time, it clicked.
Or how about Frisia Gall?
Over in Australia, get this, she started using these courses when she was only 14. After bouncing around 13 different schools, she basically took her education into her own hands to pursue her passion for engineering.
And she didn't just watch videos. She took that knowledge and actually built something with it, a prototype for a virtual reality glove. And today, she's a co-founder of a tech startup based on that project. I mean, how incredible is that?
These stories, they show us something so important about the world we live in now. It's not just about what you already know. It's about how well you can learn. Seriously, learning how to learn might just be the single most important skill you can have.
This whole idea of lifelong learning isn't just a buzzword anymore. It's just reality. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. If you can master the ability to learn, you have a massive advantage. It's like having a superpower.
So here's the bottom line. The biggest barrier for most of us isn't finding information anymore. It's everywhere. The real challenge is knowing how to make it stick. But now, you have the tools. You know the secrets. The knowledge is out there waiting for you. So I'll leave you with this one question. What are you going to learn?